Vivek Ranadive is not only a tech icon, but he's also a best-selling author, entrepreneur, CEO, philanthropist, and owner of the Sacramento Kings. He's credited with digitizing Wall Street in the 80s. Vivek is a self-made entrepreneur who traveled from India to the US with only $100 in his pocket in hopes of attending MIT. He not only attended MIT and Harvard, but he most recently sold his software company Tibco for $4.3 billion. Yeah, he's a billionaire, and he owns a sports team. Today I'm going to talk to him about all of it. Vivek, what's it like to own a sports team?
Well, the first thing you find out when you own a sports team is the team is owned by the fans, it's owned by the city, it's owned by the community, it's owned by the players, and you're just a steward, and hopefully you don't make too many mistakes along the way. To be an owner of a NBA basketball team is a huge privilege and it's a huge honor. And I don't take that lightly at all.
What sparked your interest in basketball?
I was a single dad, this is about 10 years ago, and in order to spend more time with my little girl, Anjali, I foolishly volunteered to coach her basketball team. Now, understand that I had never actually touched a basketball in my life. I grew up in Bombay where I played cricket and soccer. But
every sport but basketball.
Every sport but basketball. So that first day, I literally had never touched a basketball. I didn't know what a layup was. So I looked at the girls and with a great deal of confidence, I said, girls, today we're going to run. And I just made them run up and down the court for an hour. I'm kind of a math guy, so I try to make an equation out of everything. So I made an equation out of the game. So I created an equation for the game of basketball. And I hate to lose. So we applied the equation, and we actually ended up winning every single game.
Oh my gosh.
And we took the team to the national championship. So that's how my love affair with basketball started.
That's amazing. High five. Good job.
High five.
You came over from India with $100 in your pocket?
It was actually more like 50, but that's true, yes.
And how, what made you want to come here?
Well, the story for me started when I was a little boy. I was in Bombay, and it was the middle of the night. And I had my ear plastered to a little transistor radio. And I heard these words: one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And of course, I was listening to the Voice of America. I was listening to the moon landing. I thought to myself, who were these people that were able to take a man, put him in a box, and propel him 250,000 miles away to land on a rock flawlessly for the first time? Who are these people? What brilliance, what imagination, what perseverance, what courage. And I said to myself, I want to be one of them. And that's when I decided that I wanted to dedicate my life to science and technology, and I wanted to come to America.
You were the first person to, you digitized Wall Street. What was your first step?
Well, I had this idea for what I called a software bus, and through a set of coincidences, I found myself in the office of the head of Goldman Sachs. I talked to him, and I had this idea of what I called a software bus. And the big idea that I had was the business of software is very complex. It takes time, it takes a lot of money. Software never works. It's never on time, never on budget. And I thought to myself, why not build software like hardware is built? And so my big idea was to create a software bus. And it turns out that Wall Street was a great place to actually build the software bus. And so I convinced Bob Rubin, who was the head of Goldman Sachs, to let me try to create the software bus for his trading floor.
What did you say to him? You must have been very convincing.
I kind of gave him the speech about how I could take all of the information that traders were using, and I could make sense out of that information. Back then, you would walk into a trading floor and there'd be 15, 17 monitors, and there were literally TV screens on a trader's desk. I said, I can fix that. I can just replace it all with a computer workstation and then replace the 20 wires with one wire.
You convinced them that you would make their lives easier.
That's right. And that I could actually then allow them to take that information, put it in a spreadsheet, analyze it, and start getting information, an information advantage that in that industry is really important.
And fast forward to 2014, you sold Tibco for $4.3 billion. What does that feel like?
Well, for me, it was Tibco was my kind of my baby. It was my love, and we built a great company, and I'd been running a public company, and I felt like it was time that I let some of the guys that had followed me for 20 years take over and run the company. So we ended up doing a private transaction where my team is still running the company, and I'm continuing my journey.
What's your favorite thing about owning the Kings?
Well, this is a dream. Every guy would love to have a sports team.
Yeah.
And so it's been a lot of fun. When Mayor Johnson called me and said, hey, help us keep the Kings in Sacramento, because there's this guy, Steve Ballmer, who was going to buy the team and move it to Seattle. And initially I was like, why would I do that? But then after a while I thought about it, and I came to California with nothing. And I just felt that it would really be devastating for the city of Sacramento, our state capital, to have the Kings move out of Sacramento. So I foolishly said, okay, I'm going to help and I'm going to do something. But we're doing a lot of great work. And so we're rebuilding Sacramento. We're investing $1 billion into the downtown of Sacramento. We're building the world's best arena downtown.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So tell me about it. I know you're incorporating all sorts of crazy technology.
Right. So it's going to be, I modestly dub it the WBA for the world's best arena.
I love it.
It's going to be the world's first indoor-outdoor basketball arena. So we're going to put doors on it similar to what SpaceX uses for its hangar doors.
Oh, wow.
Where you'll be able to open it up and it'll become, the outdoors will come in. 50 of the nights there'll be games, but over 200 of the nights there'll be concerts. And so you'll be able to not only have indoor-outdoor games, but when you're doing a concert, you'll be able to have 18,000 people inside and another 10,000 people out on the plaza.
Oh, wow.
Now, there's also a lot of technology embedded in it. So the whole notion that we had is that rather than you having to check into the arena should check into you. And so it should help you.
That sounds pretty good.
It should know everything about you. It should help you through traffic. It should help you find your parking spot. It should help you get you to your seat. You shouldn't have to do anything. There should be no paper, no tickets, no cash. In fact, I don't even want you to have to pull your phone out. So when you walk in towards the arena should recognize you. Well, why should you have to do anything? So the arena checks into you. It knows where you are. It knows how to direct you to your seat. It knows what food you like. Yeah, and you're going to come there for opening night.
Oh, I would love to.
Okay.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it, Vivek. Would you say basketball is a cash business?
In my mind, the value of a franchise, it's really priceless.
Right.
Because in the case of basketball, we have 30 of these franchises, and they're not making any more of them.
Yeah.
They have a global audience. The content, you will not time shift. You'll watch it as it's happening.
Yeah.
The costs are being contained. The TV contracts are going up. And so these are priceless assets in my mind. In many ways, Jesse, the business of basketball is like any other business.
Right.
And it's a social network on the one hand.
That's a really interesting analogy.
Yeah,
and that completely makes sense because
so
the fans and
it's the ultimate social network, and you want to use technology to capture, engage, and expand that network. And then you have perishable inventory on the other hand, and it's seats, it's food, it's jerseys.
Yeah, right.
And every business faces the same challenge, which is how do I engage my social network, and how do I marry that to my perishable inventory, and how do I optimize that? And that actually defines every single business.
What surprised you the most about the sports industry when you first got into it?
When you own a sports team, you own a basketball team, you have fans. Fans will paint their face purple. Fans will evangelize about their team 24/7. And every...
Do you, on occasion, paint your face?
No, but when the arena opens, I'm going to I'm going to dye like the gray, white part of my hair purple.
Oh, I love it.
So I'm going to do that. But you're going to have to do that, something like that too.
I'll dye my hair purple too.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
if you
a
dye
deal.
your hair purple, I'll totally
Okay.
dye my hair. I heard that you are a black belt in Taekwondo.
Yes.
Can you teach me a move?
Uh,
Do you have like what's the best defense move to know?
Well, just punch me in slow motion, and I'll show you.
Punch you in slow motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Really?
just start punching my face.
Okay, so I start punching.
Yeah, so you go like that. Okay, and you can go like that.
Oh my God.
That's it.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or if you have fast reflexes, do that again.
Okay.
Then what you can do is you can just do that,
Oh, that's good.
and you can break the person's arm.
Could you break my arm right now?
No, I'm
Might
not
make
gonna
good
do
TV. I'm like the Valley Girl.
And I'm like Vivek Ranadive.
That was really good. You had the whole hand motion and everything.